Hello guys, I'm Lawrence, and in this video we're going to be looking at how to apply the pentatonic scale to playing over Coltrane changes. So first of all guys, please support me by liking this video and subscribing to the channel. It'll be really good for giving the algorithm a little bit of a kick in my favour. But anyway, so how do we apply the pentatonic scale to our Coltrane changes? And first of all, what are Coltrane changes? So all they are is, if we start in the key of C major, we just go down in major thirds each time. So starting on C, we'll go down to our A flat major 7, then to our E major 7, back to our C major 7. We're not going to just stop there. We also approach each new key center by the 5 chord. So if we start on C, the next key is going to be A flat, so we're going to approach it from our 5, which is E flat. And obviously it's going to be a dominant chord, to our A flat, and then the next key center is going to be our E major 7, so we're going to approach it from the 5, which is the B7, then we're on our E, and then we're going to approach the C with our G7. So that's all Coltrane changes are, and obviously these changes were used as the basis for many of Coltrane's compositions in the early 60s. Such as Giant Steps and Countdown off the album Giant Steps, and also 26-2, Satellite, and Central Park West off his album Coltrane Sounds. So you can see Coltrane got a lot of mileage out of this chord progression. It's kind of seen as a very, very challenging chord progression to play over, and it is if you haven't spent a while looking at it. However, the fundamentals of playing over these changes are very simple, as we'll discuss now. So how do we approach this chord progression using pentatonic scales? So we can either play a pentatonic scale, a major pentatonic scale, off the key center itself or off the 5th of the key center. So starting in C, we can either play C major pentatonic or G major pentatonic. Over the 5-1 in A flat, E flat to A flat, we can either play our E flat pentatonic or our A flat pentatonic. Both of those scales will work over both of those chords. Then over our 5-1 in E, B to E, we can either play B major pentatonic or E major pentatonic. So we've got both of those options. I'll be honest, I tend to use the pentatonic scale off the dominant as the foundation for the way I play over it, just because that gives me the sound that I want to hear. However, there's nothing wrong with playing the pentatonic scale from the tonic of the chord as well. So if you guys have been watching my videos, you'll be aware that I don't tend to think in major pentatonic scales. I tend to view everything from its relative minor, just because I started out as a rock player and it just seems like home for me. So I think of, instead of playing the major pentatonic from the 5th or the root, I would think of playing the minor pentatonic scale. So instead of C major pentatonic, I would be thinking A minor pentatonic. Same notes, just a different way of viewing it. Instead of playing G major pentatonic, I'll be thinking about playing E minor pentatonic. So the way I actually view this is I think of playing the minor pentatonic scale off the major third of every key center. So in C major pentatonic, I'll be thinking about playing the minor pentatonic scale off the major third, which is E minor pentatonic. When we do the 5-1 in A flat, I'll be thinking about playing C minor pentatonic, which is the minor pentatonic scale off the major third of our key center, which is now A flat. So it's really up to you how you want to visualize this. It's whatever works best for you. The reason, as I said, I always view things from the minor, because when I was a teenager I built up quite a lot of rock language around the minor pentatonic scale, and it's really nice to be able to use all this language that you built in these different contexts. So let's have a look at an idea that uses the minor pentatonic scale from the major third of every key center within the Coltrane changes progression. So there you go. You see how that flows really nicely through the chord changes. So I found this a really wonderful way of opening up what's possible through these changes. When I started playing Giant Steps, I was very much stuck within playing patterns of these kind of pseudo Coltrane melodic scales that I tried to pick up. And obviously that can be done really well, but I found that I was playing the same stuff over and over again. And by approaching each key center with a pentatonic scale, it really helped me play more melodically through the changes. But obviously there's always more to learn on a progression like this, and it's very much a lifetime study in many ways. But let's analyze that idea and see what was going on. So, in the example, we start on our E minor pentatonic scale. We do a 2-1-2 pattern there, and then we carry on that 2-1-2 pattern, but sliding up to C minor pentatonic. And then we just go down the A flat minor pentatonic scale. And then we do a 2-1-2 back in our E minor pentatonic scale. Finally going down the scale at the end, there, just of our normal E minor pentatonic scale. So you see how it's just about the way that we flow through those pentatonic scales. What we're doing isn't very complicated. It's about how we do it and how freely we can flow between them. So let's have a look at that whole idea slowly. There we go. So that really flows nicely through the changes, and it's just an example of how we can use pentatonic scales to flow through all of these different tunes like Giant Steps and Countdown. So although any solo that I may play at the start of the video, maybe you listen to it and you think, oh, it doesn't really sound very pentatonic. But the thing is, the pentatonic scale is just my foundation for the song. And then from that, I'm able to incorporate other ideas around that. So whether that be maybe outlining the 5 chord a little bit more with some altered colours or some diminished colours, or whatever it might be. As I said before, I've also built up a vocabulary of melodic cells that I can use through these changes too. And they're also a strong foundation to the way that I play through these changes too. However, the pentatonic scale really opened up new doors for me when I applied it to these changes, and really helped me make my solo sound a little bit less samey. I would hope so. Anyway. But anyway, guys, I hope that helped you to get through these changes. I'll be transcribing the solo that I play at the start of this video for my Patreon members. I'll also include some other examples of pentatonic sequences through Coltrane changes too, for you to explore. And obviously, if you would like a little bit more hands-on help with this, I am available for online lessons at a very reasonable price. So please contact me at Guitar Lawrence or through my website if you'd be interested in looking at some of the tricks of the trade when it comes to jazz or fusion guitar, whether that be the technique or the language. And obviously, I've got many books on the topic, some of them which are on my website, but some I still need to put together into book form for the website, but it's all ready for students and stuff. So yeah, so please consider contacting me if you're interested in private lessons. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel, and I'll be back very shortly for another video.